take a look at a couple of different versions of replacement barrels for, in this case, a Glock. And this one happens to be a Glock 19. So this is a mid-sized or a compact Glock 9mm. For this particular firearm, you disassemble it like so, and then you've got your barrel. So this is the standard Glock barrel. You can see that it has what's called polygonal rifling, and we'll compare this to some of the others in a moment here. So first off, we have a Storm Lake barrel, and this one is designed for the Glock 19 9mm. Now this one is a stainless steel barrel, and it's threaded. Next up we have a Lone Wolf, and this one is for the 40. So it won't fit into this pistol, but it was the best example I had of a Lone Wolf right now. And they come in this sort of plastic box. There you go. Then we have a Kkm Precision. Got another style of replacement or aftermarket barrel. Also come in one of these little plastic tool containers. Now this one has got a compensated thing on the front here. We're just going to unscrew that though. So let's take a look at the three barrels next to each other. Now keeping in mind the size difference, because this is a 40 caliber and then our original Glock barrel. So the first thing to keep in mind is the Glock barrel is blued. All these others happen to be stainless. However, you can get these in black as well, or blued, in order to match your firearm. You can see that the two that are designed for the Glock 19 have additional length, and that is for the threaded ends. This one has a thread protector on right now. We'll screw that off. It's just a simple threaded part that protects the threads when you don't have a suppressor installed. So there's a close-up look. Now the barrels themselves don't look too different, except for the fact that these have threads on them. The chambers, though, are quite different. The Glock, of course, has its Glock symbol and the serial number, where the Storm Lake and Kkm are labeled on the side. The Lone Wolf, however, is labeled up on top. Now I know with the Lone Wolf you can get it without that wolf on there, and sometimes they'll put it on the side or on the bottom where you don't see it. So they're all marked 9 by 19, 19, 9mm, 9 by 19, and then of course this one would be 9mm if it was the same type of barrel. As far as their undersides, that dimension of course is going to be the same, because it's designed to fit with the parts, the internal parts inside the firearm. And you can see there's not a heck of a lot of variation there. Now when we talk about replacing it into the slide, without the thread protector there, it just fits right back in. And again, there's plenty of room now for that thread protector to go back on. Of course, it's not going to remove with that thread protector in place. Now there's one good reason to bring out a 40 caliber one, and you'll see that that's because I cannot convert a 9mm into 40. The barrel's too big and it just will not fit through the hole. So while there are conversion barrels to bring a 40 caliber pistol down to 9mm, this one is not going to be able to change a 9mm into 40. And then the Kkm, again with its counterweight or its muzzle device there removed, fits into the slide, doesn't quite stick out so much. And then this one with its muzzle device would be screwed back on, and you can see there's a flat in the threads here and here, so that when it's installed, not quite the look everyone is looking for, but if it's something you're interested in, or if it's something for an injury that you need to reduce the recoil on a 40 caliber, it might be appropriate. I don't know too many people that need to have the recoil reduced on a 9mm, but it's an interesting accessory. So now we'll take that back off. Something else you'll notice about the compensated one here is that this thread pitch is not the 1/2 by 28 that most 9mm threads are going to need for a suppressor. This Storm Lake barrel does have the 1/2 by 28 threads, and you can see the difference in threads there. So now let's remove this one again. So now we'll take a look at the Storm Lake barrel again with the 1/2 by 28, which will thread into something like this Gemtech Tundra suppressor. And when it's out of the firearm, you can really see how nice that connects. That's what it would look like down the barrel, down the business end. Definitely well machined. Now we can put that into the slide. Add the spring. And this is one of the reasons why the undersides are all identical, because they all have to interact with the spring the same way. Now we slide it back onto the pistol. Now when it's on the pistol, it's going to stick out a bit, and honestly that's not one of my favorite things. I don't think all Storm Lakes are like this. I don't think I've seen that little gap on all of them. So this one might be specifically made this way for a reason. Now if you're not going to shoot your suppressor or anything, you could just put that nut back on, and now the threads are protected. Or if you wanted to shoot suppressed, I'm going to just insert the can and twist. And you can see pretty nice lockup. Sights are just above the can, so a pretty nice package there. So that's definitely a big reason why someone would want a threaded and extended barrel for something like a Glock 19. Looking at it down the business end. Now, one of the other reasons some people like to use the replacement barrels is to get rid of the black look and add a steel barrel. It's not everyone, however. Of course, there are people that want to shoot reloaded ammo, and in that case, you wouldn't want to use the polygonal rifling that the Glock uses, and you'd want to use standard rifling. And we can see here the lands and grooves are sort of squared off with standard rifling, and everything's a little more rounded here. It's like as if the corners were knocked off the edges. So standard rifling, polygonal rifling in the Glock. Now let's take a look at the Kkm Precision Rifling. And then we'll take a look at, again, a larger barrel, but the Lone Wolf rifling. So Lone Wolf in a 40 caliber threaded barrel, 9mm Kkm Precision match barrel. The Storm Lake standard threads in a longer threaded barrel, and then the polygonal rifling of the standard Glock 19 barrel in 9mm. So that was 3 different options for aftermarket barrels for the Glock 19. You're looking at somewhere between $100 and $200 depending on which barrel you're looking at.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.